Hi friends, this is Carmen. Welcome back to my channel. So glad you're back. And if you're new here, welcome. My channel is all about succulents and cacti, my balcony garden, and houseplants in an apartment setting. And if that's something that interests you and you want to learn some more about, make sure you hit that red subscribe button down below and the bell notification so you don't miss any of my videos. It's December, it's almost Christmas, and I don't think that I'm going to buy any more plants the rest of the year. But I wanted to go over my 2020 wish list to see what I accomplished. Did I get the house plants and cacti and succulent that I had on my list? If you remember, if you had seen those videos last January, I think, I had made two videos, one for houseplants and one for cacti and succulent. And we're going to briefly go through all of those and see what I did get. And I have a little surprise for you, showing you the last plant that I did get for 2020, and that is on my wish list. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put the list up here on the screen so you can see it. And I've already checked off the ones that I did get. So I am going to show you a little bit of footage of the ones that I did get so you can kind of see where they're at right now. Some of them, well, I'll explain along the way. I did have a couple of aglaonemas on the list. My aglaonema cutlass is one of my favorite plants, one of my favorite aglaonemas. It's doing beautifully in the east-facing patio window. Now, I didn't find an Etta Rose, but I did manage to find a couple of pink aglaonemas that kind of did the trick, my Wishes and my Lucky Red. Now, the Calathea ornata did succumb to spider mites, unfortunately, and I was so terribly upset about that because it was given to me by Cody from the plant channel, but unfortunately I just could not save it. So needless to say, at that point I was like, I'm done with that, with Calatheas, and that's why you see a red dashed line through the Calathea zebrina. Monstera Adansonii was a wonderful find at Lowe's for $14. It's doing beautifully. My philodendron, I believe it's a Rio. It may be a silver stripe. There's still some debate on that, but I checked it off anyway. Recently, I did acquire the Pothos Mandula. It's so beautiful, and I am just absolutely loving it. And my Rhaphidophora tetrasperma, which is right behind me over here, and you'll notice it's a little bit shorter because I did cut the top. I ended up propagating it, and I have the top in some water that's propagating, and I want to replant it to fill in the pot. Now, my Spathiphyllum domino peace lily is here in my plant room. That one's doing great. It has bloomed for me. And right now, even though it's winter, December, it's giving off some leaves. So I am so happy about that. Now, going back a little bit here, I skipped over the Ficus Audrey because I did not find the Ficus Audrey in a price I could afford. It was, the ones I did find were large and I couldn't afford them. So, I'm not sure if I'm going to move it to my 2021 list. We'll have to wait and see, but that's the reason it's not checked off there and the reason I didn't find it. But overall, I would say I had a pretty successful 2020 as far as foliage plants, house plants that I did find. Okay, so let's check my cacti and succulents and see what I found there. Okay, so here is my list for 2020 for succulents and cacti. And you see, I've actually checked off quite a few. My rat tail cactus, it's doing wonderful there in the east-facing window. It's growing. And I'm surprised that how stringy it is. I always thought that those were a little bit thicker. It does get direct light, so it is growing. There's more growth near the base. But I don't know, maybe just the pictures that I saw online show it a little bit thinner. So maybe it's just young and mature and it'll plump up. I don't know. String of dolphins I did get also, and that one had a bout with spider mites. That came back from the brink, literally, and it's back in its rightful spot, and it's doing well. Some of the new growth is starting to revert. Reason being, I think, is because it's winter. The sun has shifted. It's not getting as much direct sunlight. So I think that's one of the reasons the dolphins aren't coming out as dolphins and look more like stingrays, maybe. I don't know. But I'm hoping that in the spring it'll if I do a cutback or something, it'll come back with actual dolphins. String of hearts right below it. I did find the string of hearts that has this little guy here with the 4-inch container. Has 4 beautiful strands trailing. And in the spring, I do plan on cutting the tips of those and rooting them and putting them back in the pot to fill it in and make it more of a full plant. Now, let's go over to the Euphorbia pseudocactus, my zigzag cactus. I have that one out on the balcony, and it started off as a few pseudocactus, and now it's down to 1, but this one is doing great. It's growing even though it's wintertime, and I think in the spring it's really going to take off. My Sansevieria whale fin, I was blessed by a wonderful, wonderful subscriber from Florida. She sent me 4 baby whale fins, and these guys are going to grow up to be wonderful big whale fin Sansevierias. I can see it already in their shape. They may look little now, but give them some time. They are going to grow up and be big guys. And I'm going to have 4 of them. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. Sansevieria Samurai. This one I got from Plant Stand of Arizona. Super, super slow grower. I actually have to check sometimes to see if this thing is still alive, because it's just so slow in growing, which is fine because it works perfectly for a small space, you know. Now let's talk about ones that I didn't get. I'm still looking for the Sirius Forbesii spiralis. That plant, or that cactus, is so beautiful, and I still want it. I saw it on a Facebook group that I belong to. A seller in California selling, he has 4, I think. He's selling it for $85 in a 6-inch pot, one Forbesii. That's a little too much for me. I'd be willing to pay maybe $50, but $85, no, not yet. So I'm willing to wait. The Euphorbia ingens, again, that's another one that I have not found a smaller version of at a good price. So still looking for that. Now the Echeveria Etna, I did not find, but a subscriber did send me an Echeveria raindrop, which is very similar to the Etna as far as having a growth on the petal. So I'm really happy with that, and make that as an alternative. Now, let's go over to the elephant in the room, the Euphorbia amic variegata. Now, I had that one, you probably remember, last year in the spring. I had it. It was beautiful. It was wonderful. I got it at Home Depot, I think, for... Excuse me. Hey. No. Stop. Okay? You do this every time in the same spot. Okay? No. I had it. It was wonderful out in the patio. I got it from Home Depot for I think it was like $25. There were 4 of them. I gave one away as a giveaway. The other 2 I gave away or traded, and I was left with 1. Unfortunately, that one got too much rain, and then I watered it, and I shouldn't have, and it ended up getting root rot and died. So I was heartbroken because, it was such a beautiful plant. So the other day when I was at Lowe's getting some perlite and some orchid bark, I happened to see this guy. There are 6 in here. There's a little one down here. That's the 6th one. And this is my replacement Euphorbia amic. Such a beautiful plant. Each one of these stalks has such a beautiful, beautiful variegation. There's 6 of them. The one that I originally bought was in a 3-gallon container. It was smaller. This is a 5-gallon container, and it cost me $49. But it was an early Christmas present to me, and I just couldn't pass it up. There were so many in here, such good shape, such beautiful variegation, and I was happy to replace that Euphorbia amic and gladly put another check mark on my cacti and succulent wish list. So I would say that I did pretty good on this list also, as far as finding the ones that were on the list for good prices, good plants, and I only lost the one, the Euphorbia amic, or to the ornata, but we won't talk about that. And I am going to move the Forbesii spiralis over into the 2021 list, which I'll be doing that separate video in a couple of weeks on that. But I wanted to do this and show you what I did accomplish in 2020, which was a wacky year for all of us. And I really don't want to see another year like this in my lifetime again. I think we can all probably say that. But I wanted to show you this beautiful amic. And I'm not going to repot it right now. I'm going to wait until the spring to repot it. And since there's 6 of them, I'm probably going to do 3 different pots and separate them in, you know, in different size containers, different size terracotta pots and things like that. Maybe have one outside, one in the living room, and one here in the plant room. Is probably what I'll do. And if one dies, I still have the other 2. So I you know, I won't be down to just one. If that one dies, you know, I'm out of it. But I love the way that ended my year for finding the wish list plants that I have. I have been looking at other plant tubers videos on their 2021 wish lists already, and I'm getting a lot of ideas. So I will have that video out for you very soon, so stay tuned for that. I think I'm going to combine the lists this year. Instead of making 2 separate lists, I'll combine them to my top 10 of both houseplants and succulents. So be on the lookout for that video. Thanks so much, friends, for watching today. I appreciate you so very much. If you enjoyed this video, friends, please do give it a thumbs up. That helps me out so very much. I appreciate you watching to the very end too. And I will see you in the next video. Have a blessed day. Have a Merry Christmas. If I don't see you before then, but I'm sure I will. Have a Merry Christmas. Thanks so much, friends. Bye-bye now.